Welcome to the Monster Report, a show highlighting those entertaining creatures of film history. Nick Adam Poling here, and next in our Universal lineup, it's the 1941 classic, The Wolfman. Enter Lon Chaney Jr., the son of, obviously, Lon Chaney, who was known as the Man of 1,000 Faces. More on him on another day. This wasn't Chaney Jr.'s first movie, but the Wolfman, and playing Lenny in Of Mice and Men, is probably what he's best known for. His performance in The Wolfman leaves the audience feeling sympathy for his character, and how tortured he is throughout. Chaney really pours himself into the role of this everyday man who came into contact with an unfortunate circumstance that cursed him to transform into the title character. Riding on the success of his father, Chaney plays Larry Talbot, a man who has a very successful father and, like his real life, is here because he is the next in line to inherit his father's estate. His father is played by the Invisible Man himself, Claude Rains. More on him also on another day. Rains speaks with an English accent, and his son speaks with a very all-American Midwestern inflection.
The elder, next in line of succession and so forth, is considered in everything. The younger frequently resents the position in which he's found and leaves home, just as you did.
Yes, but, Father, I'm here now.
Fortunately.
Rains plays the character very naturally, however, and adds a lot of class to this film. There's a fortune teller named Bela, played by Bela Lugosi, famous for playing Dracula. Again, more on him on another day. This fortune teller is the carrier of the Wolfman curse, and ends up attacking Larry Talbot and getting pummeled to death. His life is lost, but Bella's misfortune ends up getting transferred to Talbot. Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. Get used to hearing that quote. It's used several times in this film. Despite this little poem's description of the lunar light, there is no shot of the moon in this film. Later Wolfman films would use this technique. Originally, the script of this film left that fact of Talbot becoming an actual bipedal monster ambiguous. The audience was left with a mystery and had to decide if the transformation Talbot was going through was real or just a psychological disorder. I actually like this idea and kind of wish they would have stuck with this approach. It may have even been the intention during filming. It appears to be that the script was rewritten in the middle of production, evidenced by the amount of time dedicated to discussing lycanthropy, a delusion of the mind that alters the behavior of a person from a human to an animal, mainly a wolf. In the end, the ambiguity must have been rejected, because Talbot is definitely turning into a werewolf, and other people see him this way. Part of the appeal of this film is the sets used throughout this film, designed by Robert Boyle. It features creepy, fog-covered woods, Gothic church cathedrals, and dimly lit city streets. Every location puts the audience in eerie settings where our main character is being hunted for crimes he may or may not be guilty of committing. Music composed for this film sets a similar mood. I know this has been said before, but it's worth mentioning that this piece is amazingly identical to Danny Elfman's theme for the '89 Batman film. Now, on to the makeup. Jack Pierce is back to transform Chaney Jr. into the signature monster. Taking around 6 hours to apply, yak's hair, grease paint, a rubber snout, and a wig covered Chaney's face, and rubber boots glued with more yak hair were worn on his feet. Other Wolfman films to check out are Werewolf of London, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, She-Wolf of London, and Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Chaney makes appearances in 2 of those films, and went on later to play Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy, and Count Dracula. More on those films, guess what? Another day. There's not much more to say that hasn't already been said about this great classic. It has everything a horror film needs to entertain its audience without having to use graphic violence. The Wolfman wasn't the first werewolf film, but it's the film that sent audiences running from the moonlight and the sound of the wolves howl at night. Next up, now you see him, now you don't. Claude Rains does his disappearing act in The Invisible Man. We'll see you then.